Right, here we go. I forgot I was recording myself. I'm on Twitch. I've just been thinking. I'm still thinking. So I've just been knocked out of the Sunday Showdown after. Well, I've just had a little debate with my friend Nick, bluffing someone who was. Well, I guess he was representing a high pair because he had won aces, but he'd been doing that with nothing, and then backing down, of course, when people betting into him after the fun ended. So basically, I bluffed the river after a turn with 2 draws and 2 overcards and got nothing. And he called me with aces, so I was out of the Sunday Showdown, which is a pity, but there you go. So, bit of a contrast. I'm now playing these party games, €5 party games, and I'm sort of new to it because I've played these things but not really given them any thought, and now I'm making the mistake of giving them thought while playing at the same time and talking to you lot. But the attraction to this is that despite the fact that now, for example, 3 players have each paid €5 to play a sit and go, and there's only one prize, that's €10, which is only 2/3 of the total buy-ins. That prize pool is only one fraction of all the different combinations that you can get in terms of what the prize pool could be. So every player makes a contribution to progressive jackpot, and we could be playing for thousands of euros. So it's good fun. Ultimately, you're going to end up. You're going to be heads up against someone, or you're going to be out. But let's assume that even before you've had time to think about what's happening, that somebody's going to be next to no chips and somebody's going to be on quite a few. Then it's interesting once you get heads up because you're playing for one prize, and it's a kind of dynamic that I like anyway. I'm not sure I'm doing it the right way, or at least I've not really played too many of these, but I intend to do so and share with you what I think about them. So for now, for example, the problem is the stacks are so short and the blinds go up so quickly that, of course, there's not really as much room for manoeuvre as you'd like, but it's better than nothing. Let's hope he doesn't have a club. This will be interesting. The good thing about these is that if you don't have much time, then they could be over very quickly, as it may be the case here. He's just bluffing from the off. So now we're going to end up heads up against this player, and with a chip lead, which isn't really, well, from my experience anyway, it's nothing to get too excited about, because, as I say, the blinds go up so quickly, and even from just about the off, everybody's paying an ante also. So there's always something in the pot worth stealing, which is clearly what a lot of players want to do. And from what I've seen, there's lots of all-in pre-flop, even to win like this situation, for example, there's 80 in the pot. In fact, I'm going to do it now, let's have a demonstration. I hope he doesn't call with better hand, but there you go. I hope he doesn't call with worse hand and beats me, but you can very quickly race into not an unassailable lead, because it's quite possible to be way ahead and then just face lots of all-ins and then just keep doubling up, and before you know it, you're back to where you started again with chip parity. But it's quite possible to build up a quick lead. It's also possible, not that we're going to see this here, but hopefully in future, hopefully for me anyway, to build quite a decent chip lead in the first 3 or 4 hands. Well, not 3 or 4, first half a dozen hands, because some players are just very passive, and although you have to have some kind of solidity in these even with this format, it doesn't pay to be too passive. So in total there are 1,500 chips per tournament. Everybody starts off with 500. So I've now got a 2-1 chip lead, but that can so easily disappear. Right, 40 to call. Doesn't help us, obviously. Probably helps. Say him, I don't know what kind of name that is, but we'll just assume everybody's a he or a she and call them him. Almost tempted to steal, but I'm going to be 908 versus what? 582 regardless, so I'll just let him take that. And I'd like to see what he's got. Okay, so he was raising with that, and then he checked out. So normally these flops would be quite scary, but in this kind of game, it's almost like not that you have to be loose and risk everything all the time, but it's almost like you're sort of over it's a little bit exciting, and you tend to play a little bit more loose. Even psychologically, just the fact that it's fish party and there's pictures of fish, and you start off with a slots game which you missed because I didn't start recording early enough, but it sort of lends itself to a less serious approach, I think, and that would be a mistake to just think that you can just take risks the whole way through and play very loosely. You still have to be quite. You've got to be a little bit serious when you play these things, just because they're fun. Doesn't mean that you should be too blasé about how you play. Here we go. Call that. 2 pairs. I don't really know what I was thinking about that. I was just too busy talking. Oh, that was King 8. Well, he's been raising with such terrible, terrible hands, but he can have that one. I'm just working on the theory that I'll catch him with a good hand at some point. Maybe this is good enough. We'll call it all in. But he didn't bite. Not that we should be too disappointed with 3-3, 2-3, 3-3s would be good. So now I'm being a little bit too solid, perhaps, but I imagine that it's very easy to lose your chip lead. Again, I don't want to bet because I don't want to be raised, and I like to see what he has. Sometimes it's worth losing a little just to see what they've got. Right. So he didn't play that badly at all. And we're still in the lead. I think I'm playing this a lot more conservatively than I should be doing. Sometimes I like to, well, all times, I like to use timing to help build the picture of my bets. And it'd be nice to have a little bit more time in which to do that with the fish party games, but there never really is enough. For example, when you have a massive hand, although theories changed over the years of what the psychology of this, and there isn't a hard and fast rule, but some players with a massive hand will wait right until the last second until they make a big bet or an all-in bet, because they're hoping that their opponent's sort of building themselves up to have enough courage to call. Whereas if you do it immediately, unless they think that you're just bluffing, sometimes you're helping them make a decision by not giving them enough time, and they don't want to. They don't. The more they think, the less likely they are to call. That's just one theory, but now I'm not going to have the chip lead anymore after this hand, which isn't important. The last thing you want to do is start worrying that you're suddenly losing ground, because it's very it's very what's the word? End to end. as they say in football. So I'm just hoping that he keeps bluffing like that, which is why I'm not betting too much. I want him to give him enough rope, and hopefully he'll bluff at the wrong time, said I, after just bluffing myself out of the big money Sunday Showdown. Maybe I'm going to bluff this one, we'll see. Right, here we go. Even if he calls me, it's okay to have 400 or 500, even when the blinds are going up so quickly. Anything that, by doubling up, you're back to a playable stack is fine. And here, shouldn't really call with King Queen, but I'm still going to have 500 left nearly, so it's still only going to have a 2-to-1 chip lead if I lose this hand. So Jack, Queen or King, that'll do. And there we have it. So that's, well, only €10, but we'll play another. And now you'll see what happens with the... so you wait till the field's filled up with 3 players, and then a little mini slots game, Fish Party. You can play Fish Party slots in the casino, actually. Hence the Fish Party in the name. And when 2 people join me, we'll get the Fish Party slot, and that determines what the prize pool is. And it's the left-hand side reel that really counts. If we see the Fish Party logo thing, then that's the big one, and that happens to make that one there, which when it spins, unfortunately. Excuse the noise. If you notice there, maybe another time I can show you the prizes, but you can just log on to Poker Lobby and go to Sit and Go's Fish Party, and you can click information and it shows you various prizes that you can win. Also, there's no point being disappointed that say we could have been playing for 60 now or something, and then losing that one, and we only won one that was 10. That's life. There's no point thinking about it any further than that. Just keep playing as well as you can, and over time you make a profit anyway. But obviously it's good if you can pick up the ones that are the bigger prizes, but it would be a mistake to get too overexcited when that happens and just not play your normal game, assuming your normal game's a decent one. Right, we'll raise. I should say now that this is the first time I've been on Twitch, at least first time I actually know roughly what I'm doing, but not enough what I'm doing, and I don't have the program set up to look at properly, so anybody who's chatting at the moment, I can't see it, but tomorrow I'll be putting that one straight. So really, this is just me waxing lyrical as I play and sharing a few thoughts and not telling any jokes. My girlfriend told a few jokes today and they were terrible. I could tell you a few of hers. So I've raced into a chip lead here, which won't last long. Not even I think that's worth it. And sometimes I'll call more or less anything. So anybody who's chatting and saying hello, apologies in advance, but tomorrow, when I've had a good night's sleep and I have a look at the setup again, I'll make sure that I've got Twitch running alongside so that I can see what's happening and get my head around the mechanics and the chronology of the delay, and see how it goes. Well, the delay I have on this is probably longer than it takes to play a fish party game, actually. But I had it on for 5 minutes because I think that's decent time when you're playing a big money tournament, but I'll probably knock that down considerably when I next have a session playing fish party. Right, let's raise. Ideally, well, one of the ideal situations is when both your opponents are playing so tight that it's either all in, as this player's doing, or they fold. But this doesn't seem to be the case. It's a bit annoying when people actually play reasonably well. Sound a bit spoilt there, but in another ideal world, you just want people to just roll over or make mistakes. Right, let's not get carried away. Yes, that's what I want. I'll take a 1-2 deficit heads up and see how it goes from there. Okay, we'll bet that one. We'll bet pot. Make it look convincing. That's not good. It's thinking. That is good. So where are we now? 5 something. Might do that again. I think this other player here could get a bit desperate. When people start going all in, folding so early, it's usually a good sign. Not for them, I mean. I'm not betting that because I don't want to run into something else, and I'm not sure that I'm not sure what he's got. Senior. And I'm happy if I pick up this pot to be on 643. And now I'm going to see what they had. And whatever it's called, sit and go. Oh yeah, see. Heads up, sit and go had 2-5. And Senior had Jack 8 suited. In other words, he completely missed everything. And there was no point about betting, because that would have met with folds anyway. Not calling that. I don't know how long these tournaments last, but I was reading that it's not too long. But this one's gone on quite a while. Not going to go all in because he'll fold, so I'll raise. I didn't even think about it, pressed auto fold. So it looks like it, well, it doesn't look like, but it could well be myself against senior. Or not. What did he just have then? Ace 2 called by Queen Jack. Okay. No. So apologies if anybody's actually trying to communicate with me, and I'm sitting here blissfully unaware. But like I say, I'll put that right tomorrow. It's hard enough knowing where my cursor is right now, because I've got my monitors the wrong way around. Right, I'm not calling that. Again, this is going to sound a little overconfident, but I don't really care what either of them has if I end up heads up. So in the meantime, if I can pick up chips, I will. I don't want to go too far behind, obviously, but I'm just quite happy to let them keep going all in and keep doing this with not great hands like this. Jack 8, Jack 9. Perfect. And now, hopefully, he'll do that when he shouldn't. Although, the nature of this game, and the danger is that your own stack goes down so quickly that you're not in a position to wait either. But we'll see. Maybe he'll try and be a little bit more solid for long enough to give me a bigger stack. But what he does do is fold when betting to when he has nothing. So, and when he's had a good hand so far, he's been betting. So, without trying to sound too presumptuous, I'm guessing that he's raising with a hand, folding with nothing, and going all in whenever the thinks it might be worth a punt. Right, with 218 a pot, I'm going to call for 80 because I'll still have enough to play with. Given what I've just said, there's a case for bluffing all in, but I don't want to throw away. Well, I don't want to throw away just losing just on that. So I'll bet. Try and look like I'm playing a hand. Check. That all sort of went according to plan. He had ace queen. Now we're in the lead. Give it another couple of hands before I get jiggy with it. Don't want to be too kind. Right, an ace heads up against somebody being an all in with Jack 9 and what have you. So here we go. It's always a lottery anyway, these kind of things. And there we go. Ho hum. Chip and a chair. One more was sort of. Oh no. It's got to go all in with only 2 cards, of course. Yeah, well, that's how the cookie crumbles. And we'll go for another one. So I played 2, won 1, and we're on our 3rd one now. Wait for players to arrive, and here we go. Yep. Only 10 again. Oh, it's senior. He's playing again. I gave him a little bit too much credit, I think, in the last one. Because later on he was going all in with calling all in with Jack 8, raising with Queen 5. And that's another thing that I've noticed in these tournaments. People just go all in at the beginning, and they could be gambling, of course, or they could just be bluffing and hoping to just sort of run away with it and intimidate the other players and just keep going at it really till the other players have got so little that they're too far behind. But I'll raise with that because when you look at the antes and the pots, you can't fold every time somebody raises pre-flop. Happy to stay round about 400, 350 and then slow down if it doesn't work. Otherwise, I think if there's a chance for you to sort of stamp your authority, not your authority, but just to make a stand and make people believe that you've got something, then it gives you sort of a good foothold to do that later on. This hasn't worked, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I can't give it another go later on. And the beauty of these things is that one decent hand and you just leapfrog the other two. And the danger with these things is that because the blinds go up so quickly, a couple of speculative hands, not particularly solid, and you get punished, which is probably what's happening to me. Not yet at the point where we just have to throw calls into the wind. Well, that's in all-out bluffs or just trying to steal every now and then. I've got a 5-minute delay. Don't assume that means I know what anybody's saying, by the way. I think normally 5 minutes you can play about 2 of these, go for a jog, come back, eat. Falling. To be honest, I don't really want to be called. But I've sat here and done nothing for so long that I'd prefer to do that a couple of times and then play properly again. No, I'm not trying to play properly, but another go. I'll do. Right then. I keep sending my mouse in the wrong direction. So where were we? I've no chips, and now I've got more. Not more than I need, but I've got enough. And now I want these two to bash their heads together and get heads up against one of them. Preferably Blados, or whatever his name is. And of course, the next game, I'll play one more game, and the next game will be the jackpot, probably £20,000 or something, euros. And I'll see you. I'll be riding off into the sunset. I won't, obviously. But King 8. He's too serious to, even though he's going all in with calling with not very good hands in the other game. I think he meant that one. Oh, this is what I want to happen. I'm running out of chips. I just want him to call. Yeah, this is what you don't really want this, where there's sort of stealing, taking it in turns to steal. That's a 50-50, and I'm going to err on the side of caution. I'm going to give them one more chance to one more, not a minute, because you can play a lot of hands in a minute, but see if they. I'll play with that hand, but otherwise I would have probably folded and let them back it out. And now here's a conundrum. Just a gamble, isn't it? If I call, and I'm going to be left with not many chips if I fold. Have a little think. Let's assume that one of them has a decent hand. It's so tempted to get. Here we go. Yes, we'll call. That worked out okay. Pair of jacks. I didn't give him enough credit there. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. He's not had much luck in this one and the previous one. Hopefully he'll not have any luck now either, but... And he does. Not that I should be complaining. All in again. And this is one of those situations where everything can quickly just backfire. As is about to happen now. I'm going to do... just call. Nope. He's got all-in-itis. So he's gone from 100 and something, was it, to 900 in seconds. Call. There we go. Not a 6 or. It's very end-to-end stuff. This fish party thing. So it is quite good fun, I must admit. It's not. It doesn't remind me of my chess playing days, where there's hours and hours of strategy and serious thought. Not that I'm not being serious, but there we go. At this point, any two cards against that kind of stack. Certainly suited. The jack. It's not so bad. Wrong suit, but we've got a jack. So I didn't really play that one very well. A bit lucky. I said I won't play any more, but I'll play one more. Just to see if we get more than 10 actually for the prize. Let's reposition that. Excuse the empty card on the top right. Ooh. So now we're playing for 20. And he's back again. And he's hopefully not feeling too good about the last two. Well, I don't want him to feel bad, but hopefully he's thinking about his lack of luck, at least in the 2 games that I've played with him. Estonia. I've been to Tallinn, Estonia, playing in the MPNPT, Microgaming Poker Network Poker Tour, which you can qualify in 32 red, €1,500 packages. You can play on the Flush Royale, get every night 7 o'clock, €3 buy-in, €500 prize, guaranteed prize fund, and if you make a royal flush with both your home cards, then you automatically win a €1,500 package. Or you can play any number of satellites and qualify for the tour that way. Start off at €1, work yourself up. Or you can pay cash if you're that way inclined. Or play the weekly finals and qualify, you can also win a seat. Or play Fish Party and, well, you're not going to take a while if you're winning 10s and 20s, but who knows what you might win. And just pay for the trip. Right then, is he tilting? Do we care? No, he's not. Shouldn't really be calling out of position, but there's already a pot of 45. And he doesn't raise much, I've noticed. Ergo, now he's going to raise, obviously. So where are we? About level. And the other guy's got, well, he's got enough to play with. And again, maybe this is the wrong, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's what I prefer. I just want to be heads up. If they've got 900, I don't care. 850, I don't care. I just want to be heads up. Do we believe him? Yes is the answer, I think. Call. Well, I don't believe he's the kind of player to not bet with an ace. But do I believe that he's the kind of player? Oh, yes, here we go. Not a card I would have wanted. I'm not going to bet. I'm either winning or I'm not. And he won't bluff. So I'm either going to win this or he's going to bet or win. And I've said already, we don't want to be thinking, oh, it's 20 and not 10, going to make an extra effort. You've still got to play it the same. And if it doesn't, if you don't win, you don't win. Excuse me. So the blind is still 2040. Got 384. Even if we get down to say 300, again, just one hand from doubling up to 6. So I don't want to do anything silly. Not quite yet, anyway. I don't think he's going to be trying any tricky stuff. One of us has got slightly more than the other one. Let's hope it's me. Ha! Serves me right. Now we're beginning to see the whites of their eyes. So the next big blind's 40, gets it down to 214. Very solid, this is ZX. Call that one. Them's the breaks. Did I say I'd play no more? I'll play one more, and then what time is it? Midnight exactly. I should finish now, even though I very early go to bed. But I'll play one more. Good for a laugh. The question is, what will the prize be? If the jackpot comes, then really, if I had half a brain, I'd be switching off and concentrating properly, but I won't. Oh, it's not going to happen, but it's very unlikely to happen. But if it does, then I'll just continue like I have been, and hopefully play a little bit better. Now I've got Nick suggesting what I should be doing, and I've got no idea what he's talking about. Everything's technical to me, and he ends his suggestion with "you know what I mean," and I don't. But I'll certainly have a look at it tonight and tomorrow morning, and be a little bit more savvy. Oh, it's 20. Hope that noise isn't too loud. 20 again, right? And he's back again. He'll be buoyed after his last win of 20. So let's start messing with him a bit. That's what I want to see. Let's pretend to play a good game. So I'll sit and think, not really, but I'll sit and pretend to think and raise out a position. And then at least we can see how the man lies. Right, I represented an ace who'd risk 115 of his 475 hard-earned chips to bluff when there are not many chips left. Nobody would, so I'll be believed. There we go. 2 out of 2. Let's go for 3 out of 3. But of course we're going to think about it because we've got a decent hand. Oops, missed it. No, I didn't. I'll keep getting distracted by my friend Nick. Ooh. It's almost too good to be true, isn't it? almost ready just for us to come crashing down. But we've got enough chips to live and fight another day, even if something went wrong here. But let's hope we get a fold. So, is that how many? I've lost count how many hands we've won. But it doesn't matter. So these are last hands that counts. Right, given he's folded everything else, we'll believe that one, not that we're in a position to do anything about it anyway. Nick's asking me what the white thing is behind me. It's a wall. Ceiling. Wall. I know that's on Skype. I'm still not reading anybody's checks. I still don't know how to do it yet, but I will do tomorrow. I still don't know what he's talking about. I can't even get my head round, at least initially, around the delay. Oh. So. He just did that with sevens, so let's see what happens now. So far, he thinks I've been really solid and only raising with good hands and pre-flop raise, and then an ace king when I bet. So we'll just let him continue to think that. So decentish raise in position. No, I'm trying to make it look like I'm thinking. When really you don't need more than a couple of seconds. Well, I'm not saying you don't need more than a couple of seconds, but it does make a difference how you use the timer. For example, when you fold, just sort of an auto fold, as soon as you bet then, especially at this level, it's pretty clear that you're betting with something decent. But it's difficult to, and I certainly can't do it, not for, I used to do it all the time, but now I don't practice what I preach as much as I should do, but it's difficult to sit there and pretend to think and contemplate for roughly the same amount of time, which is sort of a bit old school, but it's certainly a decent way of playing, because then at least when your opponents can see, or at least they perceive, that you're actually thinking all the time, then it gives you so much more flexibility when it comes to bluffing. Although in this particular format, bluffing isn't going to be as much of a factor as it normally would be. But in a normal cash game, it's not going to be here because there's not enough room to keep folding. But in a normal cash game or a tournament, then people you should know from experience that when someone is what you think thinking all the time, when they make a bet or a raise, it's just human nature. You're just going to believe them a lot more than you would if they were just playing all different kinds of, like a mixed sort of cadence or tempo. And sometimes, especially when I'm playing cash and I'm just I'm doing other things at the same time, then I tend not to adhere to that kind of strategy enough, and I think that you should do, really. It's almost like you run out of patience and you can't be bothered to wait 10, 15 seconds. So there, I was almost going to just click on fold straight away, but I'd rather just, not that I'm thinking about anything now, but when I make a bet after thinking, in inverted commas, it'll have more, so it's got more gravity to it, it's got a bit more oomph. I'm probably not putting it as eloquently as I should. just noticed his name is Master Razor or something. And he's not really done a great deal of that. Master Race. Hopefully not Master Race. Right, one for straight draw, out of position. We're almost telling you what we've got. And there I am playing quickly again. And again. So I've got a pair, open-ended straight draw, and he believes I've got something. And if we lose this, we're still going to be on 539 if I call and fold. So we've got 8, 10 possible outs. He's not on a flush draw, he's on something. Tempting now to go all in because it did look like we were on a flush draw. In fact, I will do, because so far it looks like I've risked nothing. And that was a mistake. Oh, very nice. Well, there we go. So in a second I'll be gone. And yeah, so the two with 20, I didn't win either of them, which is a bit disappointing, but there you go. Can't be helped. Should have lost that one, but I didn't. So it's teasing me so that I lose another one. Almost don't know what to do now. Well, I do know what to do, but it's tempting to go all in again. But yes, let's do that. There we go. So I was going to say, I hope that's been fun, but it's certainly an interesting way of playing, and I'll certainly be looking into those a bit more deeply than I was there. But one thing that I did notice is that it just goes so quickly. It changes very quickly, so you could be way ahead, and then suddenly your chip lead's gone, or you can be way behind, and you're back in the game again. The one thing not that I dislike about the format, but the one particular aspect that sort of lends itself a little bit less to strategy is that all-ins seem to be a big part of how the game is going to end, and that's something over which you have not enough control. And either way, really, whether you're chip leader or you're chasing and just trying to double up again, it's not ideal if you're resorting to all-ins, because you don't have enough flexibility to play with what chips you have left. But having said that, clearly it's the same for everybody, and there's bound to be some kind of strategy, not necessarily an optimal one, but there's more ways than one to string a cat, which doesn't sound very nice. But and I'll be having a think about that, and I'll sort out some kind of schedule, and I'll get organised and let you know, and hope to see you again. And if you've been asking me questions in the chat, I humbly apologise for not yet being savvy enough to work out how to sort it. So, just one last thing. There's a whole series of tournaments that's coming out soon called the Escalator Tournaments. 29 of them in a week in April, and there should be something for everybody in those, and hope to see you in those. And basically, what's just reminding me is the chip stacks that start off with tournaments with short stacks and pretty rapid blinds, and then each successive tournament the stacks get bigger, the blind levels get longer, and so that's the Escalator series. 29 tournaments, and that should be probably, well, definitely a good learning curve, but it could be quite good opportunity to win some money as well. And these are certainly very good practice for that. Bigger versions of this. Okay, thanks for now, and I hope to see you soon on 32 Red.